I'm Jason Fitzgerald. I'm the product manager for Gran Turismo 4 in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Middle East, South Africa. So I work for Sony Europe. Sony Europe's a bit of a misnomer because it's all PAL territories basically. So I'm just going to talk about Gran Turismo 4 while I'm playing it and tell you about all the new features that are in Gran Turismo 4 as opposed to what's happened so far in the series. And we're looking right now at the Hong Kong track, and I'm driving an Audi S3, and we're actually playing multiplayer, so I'm against these two other guys. And I'm trying not to hit anyone, but we've actually got the game is a bit more punishing for hitting other cars and hitting the walls than it used to be. It's we really want to reward people for taking the time to drive properly rather than just well, the whole point of Gran Turismo is really that it's a driving simulator rather than an arcade, unrealistic, over-the-top, cartoony kind of game. It's always been super realistic and always been the point of Gran Turismo that you can really test drive the cars and feel what it's like to drive these cars for real using the game. And that's where Gran Turismo 4 continues what the series has always done and continues the Gran Turismo tradition, but it goes even further than what we've done in the past with 500 cars now in the game, at least 500 cars in the final version of Gran Turismo 4, and there'll be more than 50 tracks in the game, including ones like this Hong Kong track that we're looking at here. It's nighttime in Hong Kong, driving around the real streets of Hong Kong. A lot of the tracks in the game are now real, with all the real scenery and all the beautiful things, so it's almost like taking a trip to Hong Kong as well. You see the beautiful lighting in this level, where in this track where all the light is reflected on the cars, and there's famous monuments of Hong Kong we can look at as we're racing around. The scenery is so good it's almost hard to concentrate on the racing. So other highlights of the game and other new tracks, I think especially important is Nürburgring Nordschleife, which is a 13-mile long, really epic track. I just got hit. It's the most famous track in the world. It's the hardest track in the world. It's got 170 bends, and it's the greatest test for drivers. It's where BMW, Audi, Nissan, and other car companies will all test their cars right on the Nordschleife track at Nürburgring, which is why it's been also a test for GT4 to reproduce this track in the game, because it's so well known that people actually know exactly what it's like, exactly how long it should take to get around it in all these different cars, and therefore there's a very direct and very real comparison that people can make, and the game has got to live up to that. In testing the real cars on the Nordschleife and then testing them in Gran Turismo in the virtual world, the team at Polyphony have found that there is a 1% difference between the times that people achieve on the track in the virtual world and the real world. So it's within 1%, and that's because they model the track so accurately and they model the cars so accurately that they're just totally getting it right, and they're so close to the real world now. Physically, each track every detail on the track is within 2/3 of an inch of where it is in real life. So it's that level of accuracy that is what is underneath and behind the scenes of the game, really making the game so realistic and so accurate and so much like the real thing. So you can see in this, I'm also driving with the new Logitech steering wheel, which is the new wheel for GT4. Just finished this race, and if we keep going, we'll get a gorgeous replay of me winning, which is great. It's going to come up now. Yeah, that looked good though, because he stopped and...